Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Gwent, and today we're going to be playing the new Battle Rush seasonal event, which is an alternate game mode in which players have just 8 seconds to take their turn, and just 15 seconds to choose cards during the mulligan phase. Today also marks the first day of the new Harvest of Sorrow expansion, and with it, a bunch of new cards. So you know that means we gotta try some of them out. And if you're as excited as me about the new Harvest of Sorrow expansion, and the new Price of Power kegs, then tune in to twitch.tv/lidsvids at 10 PM GMT tonight, when we'll use all this ore that I've been saving up for a year to crack open over 1,000 kegs. Now let's go take a look at the deck. So today we'll be playing a Northern Realms Shieldwall deck that focuses on two things: playing cards that automatically get boosted at the end of our turn, that way we minimize the amount of clicks that we need to make, making it easier for us to finish our turn in 8 seconds, and also loads up on a ton of resilience cards, giving us lots of carryover. That means today we'll be playing the new Meditating Mage card, which just released today for the Harvest of Sorrow expansion, and this card is ridiculous because it only costs 4 provisions, and yet it can get resilience, which is extremely powerful, because that means that it can carry over from one round to the next, and it is the only bronze unit that can do that, in the entire game. Although because that's coming from its bonded ability, that means that we need to have 2 Meditating Mages down there in order for them to get resilience. So that means we either want to have both Meditating Mages in our hands simultaneously, or we'll want to play the new Mushy Truffle card, which also came out today in the Harvest of Sorrow expansion, which will spawn and play a bonded unit from our starting deck. And because the Meditating Mage is our only bonded unit in our starting deck, this is guaranteed to give us another Meditating Mage. Then the Mushy Truffle also has an order ability, which will play Golden Froth, giving us a little bit of a boost. Though because Mushy Truffle has resilience, we could either choose to use that order in the same round that we play Mushy Truffle, or we could wait until the next round when Mushy Truffle gets carried over and use it then for some additional carryover. Overall, we'd prefer to play those Meditating Mages either in round 1 or potentially round 2, because of course, by the time round 3 comes around, the resilience doesn't matter anymore. But wait, there's more, because we're also getting resilience from Ciri Nova, since we do not have any cards in our deck that cost 10 provisions or more. Then we're also using Vandergrift for even more resilience, so we are absolutely loading up on the carryover. So that's the general idea of the deck, but now we'll flip through to show you what else we have. And of course, you'll notice here at the top, we do not have Oneiromancy or any other big tutor cards, because like we said, we can't go over 9 provisions when we're using Ciri Nova. And also, I'm not a fan of using tutor cards in this event, because just going through the animations of playing 2 cards can take up almost half your turn. And like I was saying, other than resilience, we have lots of sources of boosting. And we do have Donimir, and as our defender, we'd like to use him to protect some of our resilience cards. Although if you don't have Donimir in the same round that you're playing your resilience units, remember that this is a Shieldwall deck, so you can use your leader ability to help protect those resilience cards that way. Alzur's Double Cross is the only tutor card that I have included, because the highest power card in our starting deck is Ciri Nova, so this gives you one more way to make sure you get some resilience. And at least in this case, you don't need to go fishing through your deck to pick the specific card you want, so it's definitely faster than something like Oneiromancy. Then Nathaniel Pastodi will be the target of some of our boosts, that way we can dish out some additional bleeding, which means we'll want to put him next to cards like Strenger, or Egmund, or Temerian Drummer, and then Tridam Infantry, much like Nathaniel Pastodi, is another card that we'd like to be the target of some of our boosting. So there's a look at the deck, and like I said, the focus is on loading up on both resilience and boosts that automatically trigger at the end of our turn. That should help us put up a bunch of points quickly and easily, even when we have just 8 seconds to finish our turn, and give us lots of carryover to help us in future rounds. I'm excited to give it a try, so let's go see it in action. Alright, so going against Skellige here, and we'll go first. And let's get rid of the Redanian Knight, and maybe the Kerack City Guard as well. Keria is definitely an upgrade, and we could dump the Scytheman as well. Let's start with Eskel Pathfinder, get some early boosting. Alright, they'll go with, Little Hafru, one of the new cards. Very cool. Let's go Temerian Drummer next, get more boosting on the board. Alright, now Oneiromancy. Into Melusine. Okay, so yeah, sensing a theme here. They'll start the rain. No, that's not the row they wanted, and it might be because Oneiromancy took too long to use. We'll put down our Tridam Infantry, because that is our preferred target for our boosting. Now they'll use the Halfra Singer to heal and spawn a Siren. Didn't even realize those were named after the same thing. Now let's start with some of our resilience with Ciri Nova. Alright, they'll go with the Hermit. So just a whole bunch of the new cards. Now let's go with Vandergrift. Alright, now they go with Messenger of the Sea. Another one of the new cards. And that'll get a decent amount of boosts here. So if we're going to keep pace, we might need to play Saer Qu'an. And I'll put him next to the Temerian Drummer just so that he's a little bit harder to get rid of, because he is fragile, at least initially. Now they're going with Giga Scorpion Decoction. Okay, well, he's going to go down either way in that case. I think we pass here, because we do still have a slight lead. And we, of course, have that resilience on the board. No pass, but we'll still take the round 1 win. So they might have miscalculated that one. And we now have 2 Meditating Mages, so that's awesome. Let's get rid of the Scytheman. And let's get rid of the Kerack City Guard. And we could push here, because of course we had 2 Resilience units last round. So now let's go with the Meditating Mages, so that we can potentially get even more carryover if we go to round 3. And the Melusine Cultist means we'll probably see even more rain in this round. Alright, let's go with our other Meditating Mage. And let's protect these guys a bit with Shieldwall. And this might be the last turn we want to take, so just in case, let's use his order. Alright, they're going with Maxi, which will help set up their deck, but doesn't help much putting up points. So I think we continue to bleed here, because we still have a lead, so they're kind of trapped. Now Sidrifa's right, and what will they choose to bring back? It's Melusine. That's obviously a pretty big card. But if we go with Keria Metz here, then I think we can continue to put on the pressure and force them to play another card here. And we'll get Messenger of the Sea for a second time round here. And I think we pass now, because we do have that boosting happening from the Vitality. And so they'll pass, but that's not enough because we're tied, and since we won round 1, that means we take the win. Alright, so going against monsters here. And we'll go first. And let's get rid of the Kerack City Guard, and probably the Scytheman as well. And this probably works. So let's start with the Meditating Mage. And let's put a shield on it while it's out there. And they'll use Ardgeth to get some frost. That'll bring out the Winter Queen as well. Let's play Donimir to protect that Meditating Mage. Now they go with Ancient Foglith. So that'll get boosted from the weather. And they'll move Donimir. And also move the Meditating Mage. They might not have meant to do that. They might have run out of time. Now we use the Mushy Truffle, and that'll get us a second Meditating Mage. So now we can start getting the resilience on them. Now they go with Wild Hunt Bruiser, that'll give them some more movement, so they can move Donimir out of the way again. Now let's go with Keria, to boost the mages. And let's put the shields back on. Alright, now they go with Aridin. So clearly they're going all out on the frost. Let's go Temerian Drummer. Boost the mages further and activate their order abilities now. And boost Donimir with our stratagem. Now another Wild Hunt Bruiser. This time they're moving the Temerian Drummer. In which case, let's put a Tridam Infantry over there so that can get boosted. Now they'll go with Red Riders for more Frost. Now let's go Matta and see if we can get even more Resilience cards in our hand. But no Ciri this time. They'll go Wild Hunt Warrior for some damage, and that's enough to get rid of Donimir. Let's pass here, because we have our Resilience set up. And they'll pass as well, so they'll take the round 1 win. But of course, we'll have all that carryover from the Resilience. And let's hold on to Vandergrift just in case they try to push here in round 2. Otherwise, this hand looks good. And, well, they are trying to push here for the round 2 bleed, but not the best idea for them. Not only did we have 2 units that we brought over with Resilience, we have another one that can give us carryover into round 3. Now they'll go with another Naglfar's crew for some more Frost. Now let's go with Reynard. And an On-El Conqueror is basically just a point slam for them. Now let's go Eskel Pathfinder for some more points. Now they'll go Yigern. So that is a big point slam, and okay, maybe they can keep pace with us in that case. Let's go Temerian Drummer, get another engine out here. And they'll go Ardgeth for more Frost. Now let's go Lyrian Scytheman for a point slam, because this might be the last card we want to play in this round. We have a pretty sizable lead here. They'll go with another On-El Conqueror, though. That's not enough for them to catch us. Let's go Tridam Infantry to get him boosted and deal some damage in the process. We'll go with Alzur. And with that consumption, they've tied us up, but we still have some engines down here, so we can take 1 card advantage and carry over with Resilience into round 3. Alright, let's get rid of the Redanian Knight, and at this stage, Alzur's Double Cross will give us Ciri, which is not great in round 3, because Resilience doesn't matter. Not a huge fan of the Redanian Knight, but we'll play him first to get some boosts out of him. We'll go Red Riders, and that'll of course get rid of the armor on that Redanian Knight. Now let's go Strenger. Now let's go an Apiarian Phantom. Let's go Saer Qu'an here, and try to get that boosted with Strenger, but of course they're almost certainly going to use the Apiarian Phantom to get rid of Saer Qu'an before it gets its huge boost at the end of our next turn. Cave Troll is not a huge deal, because if we garrison here on Strenger, that is more than enough for us to take the lead and take the win. Alright, so going up against monsters here, and we'll go first. And let's get rid of the Scytheman, and get rid of the other Scytheman, and maybe the Kerack City Guard as well. Then let's start with Eskel. And they'll start with their leader ability. And given that leader ability, yeah, expecting some Thrive, that makes sense. Now let's go with Donimir. And we can use them to help protect some of our future Resilience cards. They're going to go with the Griffin, which they can use to get rid of that Gurnakoros fruit, but doesn't matter, they can get one back for their next turn. Now let's go with Keria and activate her ability to get a bunch of Vitality. They'll bring back the fruit, and play Indriga Larva for some more Thrive. Now let's go with Strenger to get some more boosting happening, and use our stratagem on her to make sure she's boosting on both sides. Now they'll go with a Wyvern, so more Thrive, and they'll start triggering those Thrives that they've already played. Now let's do Ciri Nova. Then they'll go with the Beast, and it will get boosted as well. Now let's go with our other Resilience unit, Vandergrift. Then they'll go with Yigern. Okay, so that is a big point slam, and certainly will trigger all those Thrives. So it looked like we were pulling away. but we do still have some engines on the board here, and we have that resilience, so I think it is safe to pass. Then they'll go Neomancy and get She Who Knows. Now, this is actually a huge mistake, because of course Ygern is the highest base power unit, but it will lose its armor in between rounds and will automatically get destroyed, so that resilience that they get from She Who Knows is wasted. And there you see it, no more Ygern, despite getting resilience because it lost its armor. Let's get rid of the Redanian Knight, and let's get rid of the Lyrian Scytheman. Now we have 2 Meditating Mages, and I like that. They will play here, despite being a card down. And they'll play the Griffin, and, well, they realized that that was definitely a mistake, because with all that resilience and the card advantage, they were not going to be able to catch us. So they forfeit. So there's a look at a Northern Realms resilience and boosting deck using cards from the new Harvest of Sorrow expansion in the Battle Rush seasonal event. If you liked the video, then make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment down below to let me know which other cards, archetypes, and factions you'd like us to experiment with next. And don't forget to stop by twitch.tv/lidsvids at 10 p.m. GMT tonight as we unbox over 1,000 kegs. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.